This is good news. Citizens of Azeroth, it is with great joy that I announce Chris Metzen has joined the Warcraft leadership team as creative advisor. Chris's focus initially will be on World of Warcraft. Then his work will expand to other projects across this growing franchise. Chris was one of the original team members working on the Warcraft universe back when it began in 1994, and we are so happy to be reuniting with him with the world he helped create. So there's a couple of things that we have to take away from this. The first thing is, it's Chris Metzen. Can I get some hearts in chat? Can I get some likes on this video? There is no one better to bring back into World of Warcraft, specifically from a creative storytelling perspective, than this man. And I'll explain to you why. Chris Metzen is, at least if the rumors are to be believed, he has been responsible for all of World of Warcraft story, not the individual stories and how they played out, but when Chris Metzen left World of Warcraft, I believe it was during the days of Mists of Pandaria, Chris Metzen left, and he basically left Blizzard with a blueprint for the future expansion. So, assuming the rumors are correct, he left a blueprint all the way up until Shadowlands of how the expansion should play out. So what the overarching story would be. Obviously, the writers had their freedom to tell the actual stories, but for Chris Metzen, he was the guy who told them, we're going to go to the Shadowlands and this is all the cool shit we're going to be doing. That means that Chris Metzen literally designed and developed the last 2 decades of World of Warcraft story. And it is so amazing to see Blizzard bring him back for the next chapter in World of Warcraft story. Because can you think of anyone better? This guy has a gift for storytelling. And he has such a passion for World of Warcraft. If you've never watched any of his intros for BlizzCon, do yourself a favor, it will hype you to fuck. This guy is really passionate about Blizzard Entertainment and about World of Warcraft. So I think this is really good news. There's a couple of things that I do want to highlight here. He's coming back as a creative advisor, which I'm not entirely sure what that's going to look like, but I'm assuming it's because he's gonna be involved in a lot more departments than what a creative director, for example, would be involved in. Because he's the advisor, which means that he can work with the cinematics team, he can work with the story team, the narrative team, the quest team, as well as the creative director teams, because he's an advisor. He's working in that role of sort of steering the ship so that everyone is sort of working together, but he's not getting tied down with the day-to-day nonsense of it all. So that, I think, is the first thing that's really big. But the thing that we didn't even speak about during the podcast, which I actually think is perhaps the biggest bit of news here, Chris's initial focus will be on World of Warcraft. Then, his work will expand to other projects across this growing franchise. Not across Blizzard. Not across all the franchises of Blizzard. No. To other projects within the Warcraft franchise. In other words, the Warcraft IP. It seems like Blizzard might be thinking about more things to come within the Warcraft IP. Now, I will throw this out there. If Blizzard announces within the next few years a Warcraft 4, I'm sucking a hobo's dick. That's just happening. I'll fucking stream it on OnlyFans. That is how happy I will be if a Warcraft 4 is announced at all. Because that shit would be insane. But I do believe that Chris Metzen could do it. I'm excited to see where the story goes. I'm excited to see what happens with Blizzard. Because going back to the old guard, this guy that gave World of Warcraft the story that basically brought all of us here. We're here because of this man. To see him being brought back, it's going to be fantastic. And then, of course, we know that Blizzard now have an actual narrative director. So they actually have a guy that works on directing the narrative rather than being part of writing the narrative. And this is the guy that Steve Denuser will work under to ensure that the story actually takes place the way that it's supposed to take place. So it feels like Blizzard is taking their story a hell of a lot more serious than anywhere in the past. And I think it already kind of shows in Dragonflight. The story in Dragonflight is phenomenal. The side quests are phenomenal. For the first time ever, I'm actually excited to do side quests. Side quests don't just feel like extra XP. There's a reason why you want to do those side quests. Because some of those side quests have phenomenal stories within them. So I am genuinely incredibly excited for the future of World of Warcraft, and a huge part of this is Chris Metzen coming back. And then, of course, I just found out about the trading post that's coming in World of Warcraft that I think we'll just shoehorn this into this video specifically, because all good news for World of Warcraft. For those of you that may have questions about the trading post, the way the trading post is going to work in World of Warcraft, it's in the capital cities, and it gives you activities to do throughout the month. Every single month, there's a list of activities that you can do, and it gives you a currency. This currency can then be used at the trading post to buy actual in-game shop items. So all of those mounts that previously you would have to pay $25 for, you can now buy it with this currency. The first mount that is going to be available is the Celestial Steed, and it is coming in at a price of 900 of this currency, and you get 1,000 per month. If Blizzard sticks to this, it means that every month you can buy a new item off of the cash shop. And what's more, for those of you that might be afraid of FOMO, you can freeze one item per month. So if there's a mount that you really want, but there's also a pet that you really want, well, buy the pet, freeze the mount, and buy the mount next month. As simple as that. So I think this is phenomenal. I think this is a way to get the anger off of the cash shop, because, well, does it really matter when Blizzard adds something to a cash shop that you can just as easily get in the game just by playing the fucking game? No, because technically speaking, now whenever they add something to the cash shop, they are effectively adding it to the game. Before people go, but Akalon, that's always been the case because you always buy things with in-game gold. I think people will be surprised at just how few people actually have the ability to make thousands upon thousands upon thousands of gold within World of Warcraft. I know so many people in WoW that is basically flat fucking broke most of the time. I know quite a few people that manage only just every month to scrounge enough gold together so that they can buy their game time. So at the end of the day, for most players, the items on the cash shop would not have been attainable at all. Whereas this now solves a number of problems, and I'll quickly explain to you why. The first is it makes cash shop items actually in-game items. Because by playing the game, because some of those activities are actually quite cool. It's like world quest activities or dungeon activities. We don't know what those activities will be yet, but we know that it's actually playing the game. So if you play the game, you get this extra currency that you can just spend on like actual in-game shop items. So you don't even have to do extra things. You just play the game like normal. So that's the first thing. It makes the cash shop actually matter. The second thing, and this is perhaps even the more important part of it, is the fact that now it gives people a reason to continue doing things in the open world. Because once you have all of your gear and you've maxed out your renown, there might be a time where people go, I don't really have anything that I need anymore in the open world, so I'll just not do anything in the open world. Whereas because this system now exists, for those players that do care, they're still going to find some reward from going out and doing world quests, from going out and actually partaking to the world. Now, of course, for those people that really want the awards, but are sort of forced now to do random shit, Blizzard have you covered. Just by logging in every month, you get 500. Without doing a fucking thing, you get 500. And also thanks for the 500. Really appreciate that, Earthrar. Then the other 500 comes from actual activities in the game. So if you don't give a shit, you're not going to do world quests, you're not going to do extra dungeons, fuck them. You just want the items of the cash shop. Every 2 months, you'll be able to buy an item off the cash shop. If you want to get it within a month, then yeah, just grind it out and get it. It's as simple as that. So at the end of the day, I think this is I think this is a win for everyone. But I also think it kind of betrays that Blizzard didn't make that much money on the cash shop to begin with, insofar as mounts is concerned. Because if they did, they wouldn't have done this. I think Blizzard now finally have embraced the fact that the only place they really make shit tons of money is off the token. This gives people a reason to keep subbing because they can get all of these cool mounts and stuff from the cash shop. But at the same time, you can get those things in game now. So it doesn't even matter. So I think, these things put together, it seems like World of Warcraft Boys is finally moving in the right direction. I might be wrong. Maybe some of you have a different opinion. And if you do have a different opinion, let us know. Also, if you want some World of Warcraft hentai, head over to Patreon and grab it there. If you're watching this over on YouTube, hit that like button because I'm pretty sure this is going onto YouTube. And if you're watching this on Twitch, what do you think? Let me know now, chat. We only have like 15 minutes left.